I wanted to do this live event mostly to be able to give some appreciation um, to subscribers that I have and anybody that has been extremely supportive of me. I've done two videos already for Quality and then for Baby Love 702, who have been some of my biggest supporters. But I also wanted to be able to have this event to be able to say thank you to others and to just get myself started in making sure that I was coming on live regularly. So then I could be able to have more content and interact a little bit more. I have a background as a teacher, and so everything in here will look very teachery. Um, but that's what I'm comfortable with, and so that's what we're going to start with. And as it morphs and changes, then we'll just see, and we'll just go with that. So I guess what I'll start with is just introducing myself and Vibrant Numerals. And so I'm Elizabeth, and I am a statistician turned numerologist. So about probably 10 years ago now, I all of a sudden had the realization that nobody saw the world how I did, which I thought was very odd because I've seen it this way my whole life. And so the best way I can describe how I see the world is that I basically, if you think about the Matrix movies and those scenes where we have everything is in numbers, that's me. That's how I see the whole entire world. I basically can read all of that code and look at it regularly, and everything is in those numbers. And so when I discovered that I saw the world differently, then I kind of gravitated towards numerology. I was already a statistician at this point. I was already a math teacher at this point, and so I knew math and science were my thing. But I did not know what this meant as far as what I was supposed to be bringing to the world. And so I started diving into numerology and looking at numerology and found that numerology helped me to be able to speak the language of the vibrations that I was seeing and experiencing. And I've now been able to evolve and grow and learn so much from these gifts that I'm able to now be able to see that there's much more even beyond what we see in typical numerology. So currently in typical numerology, everybody works with just single digit numbers, usually from 0 until 9, and especially with your life path number. But what I'm seeing and what I have started this channel for to try and help get out to the world is that there's many more vibrations that are woven together to give us that single digit, and that single digit is basically just the outcome. It's what we see at the end. It's like if we were looking at a big tapestry, that single digit is the whole tapestry, but that tapestry is made up of all these different threads and all of these different parts and pieces. And so it's important for us to know how that tapestry was made and how it comes together, because that actually is the path. That's our vibrational path, and that's the vibrational flow. So when we want to jump in the flow of vibration and be able to use it to manifest and to to just be able to get a little bit of ease from the energies that we're feeling in the world, it's important to understand where those vibrations come from and how they're woven together. So, those of you that are here, if you'd like to give me a name, a business name, or birthday, then we can start doing some calculations. While I'm waiting for those, I will show you how I do the calculations for business names. So I'm going to use vibrant numerals and show you how that goes. So basically, we have two very important vibrations that we give off to the world and that we use kind of like our fish hook to draw other energies in and to be able to get into a vibrational flow. And that is both our life path number and our name. And that's the same for us as an individual, but it also is the same for a business or like your channel or a country or a culture, group of people. Everybody and everything is made up of energy. And so those two vibrations are the main ones that rope us in. The only thing that's different is the universe as a whole. The universe is always trying to get a hold of us and hook us in with lots of different vibrations. So, for vibrant numerals, I wasn't expecting this to be just black. I thought I was doing some different colors. So, with vibrant numerals, each letter has a number equivalent, and so that's what we use to be able to do our calculations. And I do everything in English. There's sometimes where I will use a different alphabet to be able to get a different set of numbers, because it's really important that you are connecting the vibrations that are connected to the language that's being used. And we can have a further discussion about that later. But in English, we have the 26 letters, and a lot of times in numerology, we reduce all of those to a single digit before we start adding them up. And what I have seen is that the only way to get all of those vibrational strands that are coming together to give us that final outcome vibration is to not do the reduction until the very end. So if we don't do the reduction until the very end, vibrant numerals comes out to 189. And so I'll show you just here. I'll just do a few of these letters so you can see. So like V is 22, and I is 9, and B is 2, and dot, dot, dot. We continue. My kids make fun of me using the dot, dot, dot because it's very Gen X of me. But that's okay. But this 189, now we can see these vibrations that are coming together to make this name. And this is what is drawing people in. It's representative of what I want this channel to represent. So there's a couple of things here. So first, 89 is the numerical vibration of the word unity. And so this is really important to me, that it's collaboration and it's community, and that I'm not standing at the front just teaching, but I am part of a bigger community, and it's really important to get this information out to everybody and for everybody. And so unity is here. With the 100, there's lots of phrases that could go in front of this for unity. So like 100 is like personal, so it could be personal unity. It also is like towards, so going towards unity, and there's lots of others. But then also, if we look at 189 altogether, the main vibration word vibration that I tend to have come up quite often is the word opportunity. And this is really important to me because I want the opportunity to be able to share my abilities with the world, because I think that's what they're for. That's what they're meant for. But I also want to give opportunities to as many people as I can to be able to tap into these vibrations so that you could actually use them um, and flow with them and not be a victim to them, because they can be very overwhelming, especially right now. So then I have on Vibrant Numerals, I also have the number 33. So if we do 189 plus 33, you'll see why I added this. This equals 2, 2, 2. So one of those cool so-called angel numbers. I say so-called because really all vibrations are angel numbers. They're all messages and information from the universe. So it's weird for me to only call some of them angel numbers. So that's why you'll hear me say that. But this 222 is the numerical vibration of the phrase unconditional acceptance. And that's what I both want for myself and for this channel, but also what I want to give and encourage others to give to each other. So that's all of these numerical vibrations for Vibrant Numerals name. If you think about what my gifts and abilities are, yes, you can think about the Matrix, but I'm not Neo, I'm not Trinity. I'm probably more like the Oracle, where I'm just another coded being that is part of the Matrix and just happens to be able to read it and see it in a different way. So I'm going to, let me see if I can. Oh, there we go. Now I should be able to, maybe, I was trying to move this over because I even looked to see if I could do it. And it's not wanting to do it. Oh my goodness. So let's see. We'll try again. There we go. All right. Move that over. I was just going too fast for the computer. So let's see. So we have Yapa's birthday in the chat. And so the birthday is 7/19, 2001. And so we add up the year first. So that gives us our 3. And then and if this is a 2 digit year, you leave it at 2 digits. So we only reduce it down to 2 digits. In this case, with a youngster that's born in 2001, they would have a single digit. I definitely have a 2 digit, but we won't talk about that. And then you add the month. And so the month here is also only a single digit, so we don't have to reduce that in any way. And then we add the day. And here for 19, this is what makes the type of numerology that I do different than what's traditionally done in numerology. And so traditionally, you would reduce this 19 to 10 and then reduce it to 1. I actually keep it all as 1. So then we can see, because what's happening here is we have this 3 and this 7 and this 1 and this 9 that are actually coming together and weaving together to make this vibration. And so now it's more accurately what the vibration is. And so when we add this together, because we know 3 and 7 is 10, I won't teach us like math do that, you can tell me just to stop, because that's where my brain goes after teaching for so many years. But if we add all these together, we get 29. If we reduce that, now we get an 11. Reduce that further, and we get a 2. And so typically, what would happen is we would just go to the 2. Actually, we'd go to the 11, because that's considered a master number. But just kind of like with angel numbers, like there are these master numbers, but not really. It's like all vibrations are the same. They're all neutral. Um, what's special about these double digits is they just catch our attention because they're louder, because they're like two speakers that are have playing the same song right next to each other, and so they're louder. They get our attention, um, but they're really just vibrations like anything else. Oh, it's a little bit low. Yeah, let's see. Thanks for that. Is that better? Hopefully that's better. Okay, so um, with this, instead of focusing on the 11 or the 2, we're going to start with the 29. And so with the 29, we would first look at the 9. So the 9 is the first step. So your life path number that's based off of your birthday is one of these vibrations that you put out. But it's really important for you also because it tells you the steps that you need to take on your own life path. And it also tells you the challenges that you could encounter while you're on your life path. So while the ultimate goal for Yapa with this life path number would be to get to a 2, to basically get rid of duality and figure out how to bring the extremes in her life together to create something new. That's not where it starts. So it starts here with the 9 and the 2. And the first step is going to be this 9. And so at this first step, the 9 is really about ending cycles. And so both the first major step in life, but also the challenge is going to be to end cycles. And any of these cycles could be anything karmic. It could be generational curses. It could be even bad habits and behaviors that are just cycling around. But even it could be not having a cycle. So if you have a bad habit of procrastinating or breaking your routines, that also could be a cycle that you would want to end. So it's figuring out how to be able to recognize what cycles need to end and getting them to a place that ends. And we have to remember that in our 9 cycle, because everything in this world is in a 9 cycle, so it goes from 1 all the way around until 9. But in this 9 cycle, the 9 and the 1 are right next to each other. I'm not sure if you could see what I just drew, so I'll draw it again here. But that 9 and that 1 are right next to each other. So that means whenever you are ending something, you're opening up space for something new to be able to come in to that space. So you're opening up space by ending a cycle, and it's now bringing in a new. So it's really important to make sure that as the cycle is ending, that you are also prepared to fill that space with new energy, like a new cycle or a new routine. It's kind of like you can't leave empty space. It's always going to be filled. But it's interesting for this life path number and this birthday that we have the nine there, and then we have the nine also here. And here, the nine is sitting right next to the one. So that gives you some more hints about what are the cycles that need to be ended. It is these cycles where there's new energy that's sitting there waiting to come in. So, probably have a lot of vibrational energy that's just waiting to come in and create this life and help push you towards this two. It's gonna bring in this 11 energy, but you have to end stuff first. So that's the first step. That's just the first step. And after the first step, so after you have accomplished some ending of cycles, and this is constantly happening at the same time. So it's not like you have to end all the cycles to then be able to move on to the two. um, it could be, you could end one cycle and go to the two and be working in that area, and then have another cycle that needs to end and be working in that area. And so um, that's that's really just kind of how this works. It's kind of always cycling. Um, oh, and that nine is Yelp's favorite number, so that's very cool too. It's funny how that happens, isn't it? Where your numerology actually tells you a lot of information about yourself and will pop up every now and then, even when you don't expect it. So after ending cycles, now we're getting to this two. Now this two is going to feel extremely heavy and big. It's going to feel like a big step. So almost like the step is not the right size. It's like if nine was like a regular step size, and then the two, like to get to that next step, is now like a big, huge jump up. Um, it like a big difference, and that's because you also have two here as your ending number, and so it feels bigger if because it's both a step in your life path and it is the outcome of your life path. So after ending these cycles and this new energy is coming in, it's very important to not try and balance between the new energies, the opposites or the extremes of new energies, which is 11, but to get directly to the two. So you want to bring those energies together. You want to couple those energies. There's my sister's favorite word. Couple those energies together to be able to make something new. And so it's creating without the dualism, without the extremes, without making it that it has to be this way or not another way. It's very inclusive, which is much harder to do, but also why it's such a big step. And once you get up it makes such a huge difference in your life. And again, it's not going to be everything at once. So being able to take these steps, and as you grow your identity and who you are, now you're able to be able to really use those vibrations even more. Um, yeah, I was looking at your chat. Yeah, that makes so much sense. That, yeah, like the changing. So an 11 really is the back and forth between not even, it could be opposite, it could be extremes, but it also could just be two options instead of bringing those together. So it's like, I know from my own experience, I have a way that I am with my family, and I'm a way that I am out in the world. Um, and that would be more of that 11 of having to switch back and forth. And a two would be bringing those together to be a whole authentic you. So a whole authentic me would be that I feel comfortable and safe in being the same with my family at home as I am out in the world. which is a little bit scary to think about because the world very much can reject us. Um, oh, thanks for showing up, Cousin B. I appreciate you. Thank you. I am just doing some numerical vibration. So if you have a name or a birth date you want me to show or calculate, just let me know. So hopefully that resonates for you, Yapa. That really is what's happening with your vibrations, is so that it's looking at this path. And I think the big point is that without having that 2-digit number of 29, you really wouldn't be able to know what that path was. You wouldn't be able to know what those steps were that you needed to take to be able to get to that outcome. And so that's really important. So let's see. All right. Cousin B popped in, which I appreciate. So we will do that calculation now that I'm an expert on here. Not quite. We won't act like I'm an expert yet. But all right. So let's see. I know over on quality that Cousin B needs to be fully respected with this black. So we'll use black to do Cousin B. So here we go. So again, it's your name and your life path number. And it's the name that you use most often and that most people use for you is the name that you want to be able to look at. And because that is the vibration that you're using to draw people in and to draw vibration and energy into your space. So for Cousin B, we would, and actually, because this is shorter, I'll be able to. So C is going to be a 3. So we have 3 plus 21 plus 26 plus 26 plus 9 plus 14. Yes, I know it's crazy that I can do this so fast. And it is because I see everything in numbers. And so the numbers and the vibrations look very much just like words and letters to me. So let's do this calculation. Again, we don't want to have our 2-digit numbers reduced yet. And here's one of the reasons why. Because if we reduce these numbers, then we're not going to see that Cousin B adds up to 101, which is actually a very, very powerful number. And the reason it's so powerful is because you have two things happening here. You have these 1 energies that are drawing in a lot of new energy. So it's wanting to bring in new energy, but also these ones, because they are the same vibration, they want to be next to each other. And so then they start spinning and it's pushing forward this 0. And this 0 is divine energy. That's like that God energy. That's the energy that is like spontaneous miracles. And that's what makes this so cool. That's the 0 is the 1 energy we have no control over. It's the 1 energy that we can invite into our world, and it can give us miracles. But if we try and fight it, that's also what can give us some of our greatest downfalls also. And so then if we reduce this further, now we get to a 2. Now there is something going on with these 11 2s, because you see, we just did Yappa's life path number, and it was a 2911 2. And now we're doing cousin B, and here's 101, which is an 11, and we're getting another 2. So there's something going on with these 11s and 2s, and I really think it's the universe trying to give us information and messages that we need to be getting rid of polarizing energies. So we don't need to be separating, we need to be coming together. And there's all kinds of astrology that is in support of that as well. So, cousin B, how you can use this energy is you want to be putting out a lot of new things, saying things new ways, because that's these ones here, but then allowing that vibration to just flow. So you put out a lot of testers, a lot of new energy, a lot of new ways of doing things, and allow whatever's meant to come in, because that's going to be on that divine flow, that divine energy flow. Let that come in how it needs to come in, and then you put it together. So the way that you're going to be able to manifest through this name is by allowing this energy to come in and come through, and then figuring out how to bring it together. So when energy and people come into your space that seem like they are opposites or they don't really go together, if you can be innovative and figure out how to be able to bring them together, you're going to be extremely successful, because that's going to be how you get on this flow. And that's the same for you, Yappa, also with that life path number. Instead of trying to balance between things that seem like they're opposites or extremes, if you can find a way to bring them together, then you can manifest some really big, beautiful things. So let's go ahead and look at, oh, see here, I thought I was an expert, and no, I'm not. Oh, oh, here we go. Oh, I probably am moving too fast again. There we go. Okay, there we go. Trying to clear the screen. All right. So then for cousin B, we'll get your life path number also. I don't like to put the whole thing on the screen. So 9-3. Interesting birthday. I know several other people with that same birthday, with your Virgo self. But first, we're gonna get the 2-digit number for the birth year, which is 25. Oh, I gotta erase that dot because my Capricorn brain is not gonna like it. So first we get the year, and we keep it as, we add up the 4 digits, but we keep it at a 2-digit, which gives us 25. Yes, 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 cousin B. It's try new things, but also putting new energy out there. So it's like, if you want to build like your channel or whatever you want to be doing, try doing things just a little bit different, and in a little bit new way, and then see what comes back into you. See who comes in, what kind of energy comes back in, and then even if it feels like it's opposite, figure out how to bring it together. Yes, do not force it, because you have that divine energy in there with that 0, and so that's the one you can't control. But it's also what can bring you the biggest energy, because it's divine. It's like God handing you energy. It's handing you things. So you got to make sure to pay attention. So hopefully that answered your question. But yes, okay. So for your year, you have 25, and then we add the month, and we'll look at both the name and the life path together. So then we have the month, which is 9, and then we are adding on the day. And so we got, and I do have a calculator here, but so your life path number is 37, which is adding up. This is so cool. I love this stuff. Is 10 and it goes to a 1. So you have this like 1 with divine energy twice, which is very, very cool. So like you can, if you can figure out how to get into the flow of the energy that is just coming into you, that is out of your control, you can use it to do a lot of really cool things. But that's a different step. So what we have is that you have your final outcome is to get to this 1. It's you're basically your whole life path is around trying to bring in new energy. So you are meant to be an innovator. You're meant to try new things and create new things for other people. You're meant to be like at the front of the pack. Even if you're uncomfortable there, that's where you're meant to be, because you're really meant to be the one that is bringing in the new energy and showing a new way of doing things, a new way of thinking, a new way of being, and the steps to be able to get there. So the first step that you have to take in life, and then again, just like with Yapa's life path number, it is very always happening and very cyclical. So you're going to be on both of these steps all at all times in different areas of life, in big ways and in small ways. But this first step is the 7, which is very cool with what we've already talked about, because 7 is about taking action but in flow. So a lot of people see the 7 as like perfection. It's the perfect number and a lucky number. Like we like to walk into casinos with some 7s, but it's making sure that you're taking lots of action but in flow. That's the first step. So in anything that you're doing, the first step is figuring out what is the flow of the energy? Which way is it going? How can you take action without having to force it? How can you move strategically so that the actions you're taking are very much in flow with the energy and the vibration? Once you're able to get into that pocket of flow and take the actions accordingly, then you get to this step 2, which is growth. So, but it's allowing yourself to grow and making sure that you remember that growth happens in all directions. So all vibration is very neutral. That means it could be positive, it could be negative, it could be right there in the center. And so when we say growth, we always think, oh, it's growing bigger, it's going positive, but that's not always the case. So you have to be very aware of which direction the growth is happening. So based on your actions, the growth that's happening is going to let you know if you did that in flow, or if you took the steps in the direction that's going to be best for you. So it's taking action in flow and then recognizing where the growth is happening. We do not want the growth, cousin B, we do not want the growth to be is the hole getting deeper. You're not making the hole deeper, because that would be considered growth too. The hole getting deeper, the hole getting bigger. We don't want that. We really want that growth to be the tower getting bigger. We want the mansion to get bigger. We want the prosperity to get bigger. We want the abundance to get bigger. So you have to be very strategic in those actions that you take. Because you have this life path number of 37, you have to be more careful than other people about the actions that you're taking and making sure that you're taking them in flow. Because if there's forced actions, they are going to feel more harsh and more abrupt, but they also are going to be more detrimental because that growth can start happening in any direction. But you'll know when the steps and the action in flow and the growth are working together, because then that's when you'll again have this divine energy flow coming in with this zero, and it'll allow you to just be able to try something new and to be innovative and to tell people a new way of doing things. It's almost kind of like in the conversation, making sure that you're saying what you want to say or need to say at the right time in the right place. That's all of this is. That's really what's important, especially because both your name and your life path number have this zero and one in it. So that's very cool. I'm going to use this as an example because the other thing is your life path number and your name is where you can see how you connect to the outside world. But also when you have those two together, it can really show you where your greatest power is. So if we take Cousin B's name of 101 and we add the life path number, let's not do 10. Let's go ahead and do 37. Because it's still going to be interesting. So add 37 life path number. So you can add your life path number to anybody's name. You could add your name or your life path number. Your life path number is going to be more accurate. It's kind of like your life path number is when you like have somebody's full astrological chart and then you can compare it to your own. It's going to give you a lot more information. But you could use your name also if you want to look at like your interactions or something with somebody. But if we add this up, now we get 138. And this is the numerical vibration of the word perspective. So everything we were already talking about is you have this unique perspective that you are meant to bring to the world, that you are meant to share with the world, that is really important for the world. I just noticed that I think I wrote the first one, maybe where you couldn't see the whole thing, but it's really important that you are bringing your unique perspective to every space that you're in. That's how you manifest. You manifest from your unique perspective. And then if we add up, so first of all, we have another 11 here. So this 138 is actually resonating very much like 333. But if we add these up, so if we add 1 plus 3 plus 8, then we get 12, which is a change in perspective. So not only are you bringing a unique perspective to the world, but you're changing people's perspective, which is helping them grow. and it helps you grow as well. But that's the energy that you're putting out into your world, and what's so important. Um, oh, okay, this is great. Oh, great. I'm glad that it's accurate. But what's interesting also is because I remember um, the breakdown I did for quality for Brian. Um, and that was 66, which is also a 12 to 3. So that's why you all can vibe together so well. That's why Cousin B and Quality come together and are a whole different vibe and are really shifting perspectives and really helping others to grow, whether it's growing their channels or growing as people. And while quality is bringing in that 66 of comfort and family and making it a comfortable place, you're bringing in perspective. You're bringing in helping people to see where they stand and to shift the way they see the world and where they stand, which is very cool too. Oh, I love this stuff. I'm so glad that I did this. I was terrified to even try this for quite a while, but this is amazing and so much fun. And so let's look real quick also at if we were, so how you can actually use like your name. So with your name, Cousin B, at 101, and then like quality at 66. So you can take two names and you can see how you work with that energy. So you can actually see how you would work with another person. Again, the life path number is going to be really the biggest, most important. Oh, welcome, Tip Tip. Thank you for coming. This is so exciting. If you want to put in a name or life path number or your birthday in the chat, then we will get you into these calculations also. So back to this. So if we're looking at how these vibrations work together with Cousin B, who's 101, and then Quality, who's 66, we add this together, we get 167, and this is kind of cool. So first of all, 67 is the numerical vibration of the word soul. Ooh, so together you bring like this soul energy, very, very deep. You can have a very deep connection with each other and in how you interact with each other. Also, 67 is the numerical vibration of the word water. So you can have a very good flow, very good, easy flow. You flow well together because of this water energy that's there. The other thing is that because you have this 7 here, this is actually really good for you, Cousin B, because your life path number of 37, your first step is 7. And so anybody that you are around and you are in contact with and are vibing with, if you have the 7, they can be extremely helpful in you finding those actions in flow. So quality can really help you be able to take the actions in flow so that you can really start bringing things together. Very cool. also, Yapa, I know Yapa is still in here. Yeah, I think she um, is a magnificent tarot reader. So she could tell you that this 16 is pretty powerful because this 16 in the tarot is representative of the tower. And so then that basically means the two of you together when you are in flow. So when you are taking action and flow together and you're working with the energy, you can knock some shit down. Oops, I said a bad word. I actually cuss a whole lot, and it's been really hard to not cuss on here. Um, so you can actually really bring a lot of energy when you're in flow, taking action in flow, and you can break down some barriers, break down some walls. But the other thing is that this adds up to 7. So you actually have two sevens sitting next to each other. And 77, I think I talked about this in one of my other videos, but 77 is the numerical vibration of the word power. So when you two get together and you are in flow and you're taking actions and not forcing it, taking actions in flow, you can really bring forth some really cool power. And then, and yet there's more. And then if we add these up, now we're getting 14, which goes to 5, and 5 is change. So there's change again. So amazing, crazy, very cool changes, but not just like surface level changes, because this 4 is of foundations. And so it's changes at like a foundational level. Oh, look, Equality is here. Thanks for coming. We were just chatting about you. You must have heard. So we were looking at your name energy with Cousin B's name energy. And you got some powerful numbers, some powerful vibes going on here. So you can make change not just at a surface level, but very much at the foundational level. So this tower, this 16 tower energy is like tearing down foundations, the way of doing things. And we see that you already are doing that together. You already are changing how creators work together and how family is created in this online space. So that's extremely cool. Very, very cool. So for those of you that are just coming in, I did want to real quick make sure that you know that you can put in your names and your birthdays into chat, and I will get you added in to these calculations. But also, I wanted to make sure that you kind of understood. I said this kind of at the beginning, but the way I do numerology is very different. And it's because I'm actually reading the vibrations. So if you think about like the Matrix movie, when it has the code and everything is made of code, that's how I see the whole world. And so I'm just really in the last few years figuring out how to be able to explain it and share it. So this is me trying to explain it and share it, and I'm so glad you're here vibing with me. This is so much fun, and I'm hoping to be able to do these kinds of lives every Saturday, and we can look at everything. I can show you how I read vibrations out of music and out of news articles and nature, and I'm excited to share. Okay. All right, so let me get back on track. Let me see. Let me look at chat, because I think Tiff, yep, there we go. You put your birthday here. So we will look at your life path number. All right, so we always start with the year. So we add the all of the numbers together, but we keep the 2-digit number. So for the year, we got 18. Yep. And then for the month, we have 1. And for the day, we have 23. And I was born on the 23rd also, but you're like exactly a month after me. I was born on December 23rd. So that's exciting. So this is how we set up for our life path numbers. And so typically we try and get just to the single digit. So if you go to a typical numerologist, they'll just give you the single digit of your life path number, and they may look at your day because there's a lot of information in your day. But if you keep it as 2 digits, now you get a lot more information, and it actually is giving you more about your path and how you get to your final outcome. So if we add these together, we get 42. This is, man, what is the universe doing? Because we get 42, which goes to a 6, and we just talked about quality being 66 and having all of those 6s. So, Tiff, you are vibing with this comfort. You're bringing comfort, but also my life path number is 60. So we're 6s together, which is it always, like, even though I'm not surprised, it still is very cool to see when these vibrations are actually flowing together so seamlessly. And so your ultimate goal in life, so your life path number, single digit, is 6, where this is what you're meant to bring to the world and bring to your life and how you're supposed to use your life. And so you are supposed to be not just bringing comfort to the world or family, but you're supposed to be challenging people's comfort zones and challenging your own comfort zones. So you're supposed to be challenging what you and others are comfortable with. Like, we all know, we go and we see some stuff and we're like, you should not be comfortable with that shit. Like, that is no. And why are you comfortable with that? Especially right now, we're seeing a whole lot of it. And so, Tiff, this is where you come in, and me also, all of us with this 6. But because we have this 2-digit number, now we can see what the difference is. So, like, my life path number is 60 going to a 6. And so my first step is to accept divine energy. I have to accept that there is energy that I cannot control, which is hard because I'm a perfectionist and a little bit of a control freak. But I have to accept that I cannot control this universal divine energy. I have to just allow it to come in and then use that to be able to create places of comfort, but also challenge comfort zones. Oh, Sugar Sage, thank you for coming. Okay, be careful, please. Yeah, don't rush. We'll be here for a little while. And so your path is a little bit different. So, like, the steps that you need to take to be able to get to this 6 is a little bit different. And so what you have to start with is this 2. And what's difficult about this 2 is that everybody likes to say, oh, the master number, the magnificent number 11. You can't tell, I'm a little bit cynical about 11. Me and 11, we are not real friends. It's because everybody likes to say it's the first master number, it's a master number. Well, no, these vibrations are all really resonating at very neutral things. And but the way we think about these vibrations, the way we speak about these vibrations, they can take on a whole new kind of vibration. They get bigger, and then this is how we create things that we really should not be creating. So 11 actually is a vibration of dualism, of like polarity, of creating extremes. And 2 is getting rid of that. 2 is looking and seeing that these, what seem to be opposites, what seem to be extremes, can actually come together and be used to create something brand new. Um, oh yeah, sorry, Yapa. Yes, you and 11 are best friends with your life path number. My bad. Um, but this 2 really wants there to be some recognition that what we think are opposites really are the same, and that there is a way to be able to bring them together. And so the first step is kind of difficult in that you have to be able to look at your life, who you are, and the world around you, and be able to not only recognize where those opposites or those extremes are, but also start to bring them together and create something new. So now you can get to this second step. So once you create something new out of these extremes, it allows you to examine and challenge the foundations. So now you get to jump in there with Cousin B and Koala T and break down some of these foundations that aren't needing to be there. But this also allows you to build foundations for something brand new. So whatever the new that you created is now needing solid ground. It's needing a solid place to be. And I believe you're Capricorn, aren't you? Because that would make sense, because then that's that grounding. That's bringing in a lot of that grounded energy. It's creating the foundation. So you're creating the foundation. So you are getting rid of these extremes. You're getting rid of dualism, and then being able to create a new foundation for the 6. So with these new foundations and with this dualism gone, now you're able to create this comfortable, safe space for those that recognize that those extremes do not need to be there, and challenge those that are still living in that dualistic world. Okay, so you are Aquarius. So you're right on that cusp though. But that's very cool, because also with Aquarius, it's about power to the people. So that also makes sense as to why you're supposed to be creating this space for yourself and others that's safe, but also challenges comfort zones. Very interesting. I love this. Oh, baby love, I'm so glad you made it. So, anybody that I have not included yet, you can let me know what name or birthday you'd like me to jump in and start calculating and looking at. I'm so glad you all were able to make it. I really wanted this to be a big, huge thank you for you all, because I really do appreciate all of the support you've given me and being able to start and grow this channel. And this is all very exciting. So let's see what we got next. Anybody have questions? All right. While you coming up with questions, or you coming up with another birthday or name, I will show you here. So like tiff tiff, you and I together. So you can do this. This is where you get really powerful vibrations and understanding how you vibe with people. Is you take your life path numbers and you add them together. Oh, great. Good. Good, 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 good. I'm glad that's working. But let me know if you have questions. Um, but we can put our life path numbers together and then we can see how we could work together and how we could vibe together. And so if we add this up, now we have 102. And so really what this is saying, kind of like what we saw over with Cousin B and Quality, is that because this 2 is here, and 2 is your first step, and I just talked about how that might be a hard step for you, I'm somebody that could help you with that first step. So together we could work on that first step of 2. And then by helping you with your 2, then you help me with my 0. So that 0 of letting go of control and allowing that divine energy to flow and just come in. And when we're working together, because we can help each other out on our first steps of our life path, and really being able to give each other different perspectives, which again, we have this 12 that's kind of here together, so a change in perspective, we both grow. So this is how you can look at your life path numbers with somebody else's life path number and really see how you're vibing. So even like in business, you can get a life path number for your business, but we primarily use our name. But you can do these kinds of calculations for the name of, like, if there's another channel or another creator that you might want to partner with, you can look at how your names resonate with each other to see if it really is going to be a good fit, if it really would be something that would be helpful. So that's very cool. Yeah. So we could do some good things together. We could really help each other grow. And there's not like very often, well, because all vibration is neutral, it really is how you use the vibration and how you jump into that pocket of energy and be able to use it. Because we've all seen, like, there's these very interesting pockets of energy that people can get into and create things, and some of those things that are created are like magnificent. You don't know how they did it. And other things that came out of that same pocket of energy are doo-doo garbage, and we wish they had never been created. And so we just have to be very intentional and understand how we're using the energy and what we're doing once we're in that flow. So let's see. Okay, we got another birthday. All right. So we already saw for the year, we're going to get an 18. And then for the month, it's an 8. And then the day is 22. Oh my gosh, it's so crazy how much these vibrations really do bring us together and resonate. I just say that because I just learned earlier this week that Baby Love, you're born on the 22nd day also. And now we have another 22nd day here. So it's cool. I love our little family that we're creating because this is cool stuff. So then if we add this up, Now we're getting 48. And there is somebody whose birthday was it? I gotta, let me see if I can figure it out. Whose birthday was it? It was an artist's birthday. Um, that had a 48 life path number. I don't remember who it is at this right now because I looked at so many of them. Um, but this 48, very cool. And now look, here we are again at a 12, a change in perspective that's leading to growth. See how those vibes call each other in? So all of that six energy that we had, like qualities 66, and then we had a lot of two energy. Cousin B had all kinds of two energy. Yappa has two energy. We also had like there's somewhere else. Oh, the 22s. So we're all jumping into this same vibrational pocket. That's what brings you together. That's what makes you click. And with some people and with other people, it's like a little bit harder. If you ever run into somebody where their life path number is opposite of yours, so for you, Kels, if you run into anybody that has like an 84, in if their name is 84, I don't think you could get a life path. I think the highest life path number you can get is 78, unless they were like born a while ago. But if you run into anybody whose name adds up to 84, you could have some tension with them. Because what's happening is your first step is their second step, um, and vice versa. So you're battling each other for the steps. You're not able to like cooperate. So just that's interesting. But so your ultimate goal is to get to this life path number, this single digit of 3. But you're getting there by changing perspectives. You're shifting and changing your perspective, but also the perspective of others. But how you're doing that is in this 2 digits. And so your first step in being able to go on this life path is this 8. Um, oh, and you have a birthday coming up. Okay. So that's another interesting point. So when you get to your birthday, that's actually your personal new year. That's when your personal energy shifts. So you're in the previous year until you get to your birthday. So right now, you're still in, well, like I'm always in last year's energy for the whole year because my birthday's in December at the very end of the year. So like I'm still right now in 2024 energy, and I don't switch over to 2025 until my birthday. So it's really around your birthday that you have to be very intentional in how you are going to proceed in the coming year. So we really should be making New Year's resolutions on our birthday, not at the beginning of the calendar year. But anyway, that's just a little side tangent. So back to here to this 48. So with this 48, the very first step is to examine what are the infinitely cycling energies in your life and in life around you. So what are the patterns that you see? Like you could, with this life path number, you could find yourself encountering the same people over and over again. And when I say the same people, it's not like the exact same people. It could be the same people in different bodies, but they're giving off the same vibe. They're doing the same thing. They're acting the same way. They're coming into your life in a positive or negative way in the same way. And so it's this cycling energy. Karma is also cycling energy, and that's the one people want to focus on all the time. But even like our small habits are cycling energy. So your first step is to really examine these cycles, this cycling energy, and recognize where it is in your life, and in the lives around you. So this also is like your need to see like generational curses, like the cycles or the patterns that you've gotten from those that raised you and that came before you. So ancestral cycles also can be this eight, and recognizing which ones need to be amped up and used for your betterment and which need to be broken down. And so that could be a hard or an easy first step. In some cases, if it's like, oh, I just need to break this bad habit, then that might be a little bit easier than if it's like, oh, I gotta break this generational curse that everybody in my family does this the same way. But that's really your first step to everything that you'll be doing in life. You have to recognize also that the people and the vibrations that you draw in, they will be very much in this cyclical pattern. And so if you're not careful, you can be attracting in the same cycles. You have to be very intentional of breaking those cycles so the same people aren't coming back in if you don't want them there. But then by recognizing what those cycles are, and so it seems like most of your life, which is going to be okay, is going to be about creating routines, breaking bad habits, creating new good habits. It's all going to be about the cycling energy, this over and over again. And once you get into that pocket of energy, now that allows you to be able to create foundations. And we have a lot of 4 energy coming in here too. It's probably from all those 2s. But this is really about not just building foundations or stability, but it's really looking at what foundations are you breaking by breaking those cycling energies. So if it's like a generational curse, where it's like everybody in my family keeps acting the same way over and over and over again, and you take the steps to break that cycle, now you have to look at, well, what pieces of the foundation are also getting broken, and what does that mean for your stability, and how can you build back up to be stable again. But as you recognize what cycles need to break, and which cycles you need to build up and then create this foundation, now you're getting a change in perspective. Because what's happening is, as you are breaking down old foundations, you're also building up new ones, and you're filling in the cracks. So it's kind of like if you are at this level right now, and then you break those foundations, so now you have a much more stable foundation, so you can build higher. Now this is changing your perspective, and that's the 12. You do have a lot of 8 energy here in your birthday as well, and also a lot of 4 energy. So this 2-step life path number is probably going to resonate with you a lot more even than your single digit number, because really your whole goal is to be able to change perspective change your perspective, but also change the perspective of others around you. And we had, was it you, cousin B? I think that also had the 12 coming up for changing perspectives. Um, but as you're able to change your perspective, you can change the perspective of others, and then you're able to grow and they're able to grow. So you want to be able to draw in to you all of the vibrations. So the people, and the opportunities and the workspaces that are really going to help you break cycles and create new good cycles so that you can change your perspective, and then you're able to grow and you're able to help others grow as well. Hopefully that resonates. This is very cool. This is very cool. Okay, so are there any questions? I'll take a couple of questions and then I think I'm going to get out of here because this is exhausting, even though it's fun. And I will be back. I don't know what time. I kind of just let it flow, but I'll be back live next Saturday, and we'll see what the universe says we should talk about. But any questions about anything? Thank you, thank you, thank you to everybody that was able to come here and everybody that's watching the recording, because I really appreciate all of the support and encouragement that I've gotten. I would not be here live if it weren't for you, because this really isn't me. So this is amazing. Thank you. Okay. Thank you all for being here. The first one, I think I was told the first one's the hardest. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, then hopefully we'll be able to do more. Let me know what you want to talk about next Saturday. And again, we can look at anything. So we can look at songs. I've thought about doing some reactions just to be able, so you can see how I'm able to pull the vibrations out. So I read the vibrations of the songs instead of the lyrics all the time. So that's a different thing. But let me know. Let me know what you would like. Okay, well, thank you so much. This was so much fun. I will see you all on Tuesday, I believe, for when we all are live with Koala Tea. That'll be great. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody. I love you so much. Thank you. Bye.